Crypto assets are a type of private sector digital asset that depends primarily on cryptography and distributed ledger technology such as blockchain. And there are a range of financial instruments based on crypto assets, which are being used for investments, for making payments, or as a store of value. Now, while these functions are fairly similar to those performed by traditional financial assets, bank deposits, bonds, equities, there are fundamental differences. Most crypto assets do not have any inherent value and are primarily traded for speculative purposes. And as a result, for most of them, prices fluctuate quite widely. Crypto assets also do not have the safeguards of bank deposits and other financial instruments, and they do not provide holders with basic investor protections as they largely operate outside of regulatory frameworks. Now, looking at it from a sort of overall perspective, crypto asset markets are evolving fast. Their market capitalization grew by a factor of 3.5 in 2021. And in the FSB's view, could reach a point where they present a threat to global financial stability due to their scale, structural vulnerabilities, which have to do with the features that I mentioned before, and a growing interconnectedness with the traditional financial system.
Do you see any parallels with 2007, the last banking crisis we had? Is there anything in common with the causes of that crisis and the build-up of speculation in crypto assets?
When we talk about crypto asset markets, we are talking about an ecosystem that is very lightly regulated, and some activities are completely outside the regulatory perimeter. This makes quite a difference in terms of the policy responses to be considered and the kind of policy action that would be required and the challenges that result from that. So that's the first point. Second point, we are talking with respect to crypto assets about a market current size about $2.5 trillion, which is relatively small compared to the amount of overall financial assets. Now, if you think back to 2007, 2008, then the origin of the crisis was the U.S. subprime market, which was also relatively small compared to the overall financial system. And it was there, again, the interconnections with other parts of the financial system and knock-on effects in the form of a loss of confidence, uncertainty about exposures that led to a spreading of issues. So the conclusion that I would draw from that is that just comparing the size of a market with overall financial assets may be misleading and perhaps provide too much of a false sense of safety.
I think some people who are supporters of cryptocurrencies would see all this just as the old guard trying to defend its patch. You're really just trying to regulate something that is a threat to existing regulators and central banks.
It's not to stifle innovation and new ideas. It's not to protect turf and protect rents. Right? The objective here is to preserve financial stability as a global public good and create the conditions for safe innovation that benefits people, economies, and society overall.